CEO, removed from first-class seat. What she did next ended 5 careers. "Excuse me, ma'am, but you'll need to move." The voice came from a flight attendant, tall, composed, her tone too smooth to be sincere. Next to her stood a second attendant, nervously glancing at the passenger list. Around them, the hum of the first-class cabin softened to a hush. Heads turned, eyes followed. At seat 1A sat Veronica James, 38, crisp navy blazer, sleek heels, and the quiet presence of someone who didn't need to prove anything. She looked up from her e-reader, her brow lifting slightly. "Is there a problem?" The attendant cleared her throat. "This seat has been reassigned. We'll need to relocate you to economy." A silence fell. Veronica slowly removed her reading glasses. The air between them thickened. "Say that again," she said, her voice calm, cold steel beneath velvet. Across the aisle, a white man in a polo shirt and loafers slid into 1A with a grin. "Appreciate your understanding," he said casually, not even glancing her way. Veronica didn't answer. She reached into her bag, pulled out her phone, and dialed. "Michael," she said, "shut down our contract with Falcon Air. All of it. Effective immediately." On the other end, her COO hesitated. "V, that's a $25 million 0-cents deal." "Not anymore." The attendants began to fidget. One of them blanched as she glanced at the name on Veronica's luggage tag. Miss Veronica James, CEO of Orion Dynamics. The woman who turned a struggling aerospace startup into a global powerhouse in under 7 years. The youngest black female CEO in the tech sector, the one whose company's software powered half the industry's navigation systems, including Falcon Air's. Panic bloomed behind their eyes. "Miss James, we didn't know," one of them stammered. "There must have been a mix-up." "No," Veronica interrupted, "there wasn't." Doubt flickered for just a moment. Was she overreacting, making it too personal? But then she remembered every boardroom where she was asked to refill coffee, every client who assumed she was someone's assistant, every meeting where she had to introduce herself twice just to be heard once. This wasn't just about her, it was about everyone who came after. 5 minutes later, the intercom crackled. "Al crew to the cockpit. Immediately." Veronica sat quietly as murmurs spread through the cabin. From the window, she watched the ground crew begin to mobilize. The plane hadn't even left the gate. Then her phone buzzed. The CEO of Falcon Air. "Veronica, wait, let's talk. We had no idea." "Fire the entire crew," she said, "or lose our business forever." A long pause. Then, "Done." When the plane returned to the gate, the crew scrambled off one by one, shocked and silent. The man in 1A tried to ask questions but was ignored completely. As Veronica stood, the younger of the 2 attendants, a black woman barely out of her 20s, approached her slowly. She hadn't said a word during the confrontation, just stood there, watching, her face unreadable. Veronica handed her a business card. "If you ever want to work for someone who values you, call me." She nodded. No words, just a grateful, wide-eyed look as Veronica stepped off the plane. On the tarmac, the sunlight was sharp and bright. Veronica inhaled deeply. She wasn't angry anymore. She was resolved. Some battles weren't about comfort or seats. They were about setting standards, drawing lines, making sure the next woman who looked like her didn't have to explain herself. Inside the terminal, whispers followed her. "That's her. That's Veronica James." She didn't look back. She didn't need to, because from this day forward, they'd remember exactly who she was, and why you don't get to erase someone just because you don't expect them to be powerful. If this story inspired you, hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below. Respect is earned, but it should never have to be proven.